Joining us back on the program is Tom Hartmann from Sorted. Morena, Tom, welcome.
Atamarie, happy Monday, everyone.
Hey, so today we're going to talk about Kiwi Saver. Lots to explore on this topic, but in particular, talking about when you get to 65 and, what you're going to do about drawing down your Kiwi Saver. Something you've said to me, Tom, is that 65 doesn't mean suddenly you have to withdraw all your funds. Is that right?
Absolutely not. What we're going to be seeing more and more in the future is that people keeping their Kiwi Saver fund open and drawing down from it gradually to live on. And many people can join Kiwi Saver now, even over the age of 65. So those limitations are all gone, and it'll be used a lot more in retirement for people.
Yeah. So, we're just reminding ourselves really that Kiwi Saver it's investing, isn't it? Investing for the future. And for some of us, the future might be coming sooner than for others, Tom.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for, because retirement can be 20 or even 30 years that you're you're trying to get an income for during that time above NZ Super. Basically, you want to keep a portion of your funds invested over the long term, say in a balanced fund or conservative or even a growth fund. But most of the balanced fund is probably mostly appropriate for most people. And then draw down from it over time. And you keep it invested in order to stay ahead of inflation over those long periods of time, and in order to make sure that part of it is still growing for your future and not just, for example, sitting in a low interest savings account.
Yeah. So just to clarify, you do get your pension at 65. That doesn't impact your Kiwi Saver, does it?
No, think of Kiwi Saver as being, the two work together, and think of Kiwi Saver as being on top of what you get from NZ Super. And people obviously will retire with different amounts, but they still need to make very savvy spending decisions about how they're going to draw it down over time. So some people might want to, for example, draw down more in the early years when they're more active and want to be doing more things. And some people might want to make sure to smooth it out over all that time and leave a legacy behind. Some people might be content on living off of NZ Super after a certain date, after they reach a certain age. So there's different ways to draw down, but it's one of the most complicated things to do mathematically and financially. So we at sorted.org.nz, we have some support material, and we're working on a tool to help people really see, and find a rule of thumb for them to draw down their savings on.
Are there better times to withdraw? And when you do withdraw from your Kiwi Saver, are you charged like a transaction fee?
No, typically not. No, Kiwi Saver providers more and more, and keep in mind we're early on in the Kiwi Saver scheme experiment, in the sense that it's now in its 18th year. But in the future, there are going to be much higher balances, and people are going to. But right now, you can set up regular withdrawals. Lots of people like to, withdraw in the same day as they receive NZ Super each fortnight, for example, so that they get their NZ Super and then their money from Kiwi Saver on top of that. The average balance right now is just $30,000, but in the future, it's going to be much higher. And that's what makes this really tricky, Lizzie, is because people will get access to their Kiwi Saver money, but they won't have any practice at drawing it down regularly. And if they've stepped back from working, they won't have any recourse if they, once they make those decisions. So we want to give them a lot of support on how much they're drawing down from their Kiwi Saver each year, and give them a lot of visibility so that they can make really informed decisions.
Did you just say the average Kiwi Saver balance is 30,000?
That is right. Yeah, for everyone. But over time, that's going to increase. Now, there's not that many people who have for example, we've never had anyone who's had their whole career with Kiwi Saver present, right?
No.
Right. For the people who are starting out working now, so the cohort who's starting to come through, they're going to get much higher results in the future because of the power of time. As long as they're contributing, as long as there's money going into Kiwi Saver, they're going to reap the rewards later on.
Yeah. So with the whole drawing, so after 65, we've already established in an earlier conversation is that the government doesn't give that contribution, do they? After 65, they don't.
Yeah, at age 65, you're no longer eligible for that $521 each year, but that's also the time when NZ Super kicks in.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense to get both of those benefits. It switches from one to the other.
Okay, well that's great to point that out. So I'm just thinking, you're 65 and you want to start drawing down. You know, like you say, you might just be topping up your super on a Tuesday or whenever it is. Are you still? Is it advisable if people can to keep investing in that? I mean, depends on whether they've got an income, or is it just, you know, helpful to keep the balance going up by still putting money into Kiwi Saver?
Yeah, many people, opt to not retire right at 65. Obviously, there's some who retire earlier and some who decide to work a little bit longer, either because they're really engaged with their work or because financially they have to. And if they're working, there's still an income, then yes, it would be advisable to keep investing in Kiwi Saver and keep building up your invested savings in order to live on afterwards. But once you start to hit that point where you're depending on your Kiwi Saver balance for an income to live off of, then you would keep it invested, meaning that it's in, for example, in shares and bonds that continue to grow up over time. But you wouldn't be typically contributing into it unless you came into a lump sum or something like that and you wanted to put it in there, and that could come from the sale of a small business or a sale of a property or an inheritance or something like that. You might want to put it in your drawdown fund, in your Kiwi Saver fund, to draw down from and live off of over many years.
Yeah. Now, something I think we'll save it for our next conversation, but you did just touch on the type of funds, right, that you're in, whether it's balanced or growth, etc. And that's really people's stomach, isn't it, for risk? And, you know, if you
yeah, so investing is really about putting your money at a certain amount of risk that's comfortable for you, ideally, but that's why you get paid returns.
Yes.
That's why you get something out of investing and putting your money at a certain amount of risk. Obviously, we don't want in Kiwi Saver, the two things are about how soon you're going to use that money. And so as you get towards using it sooner, you probably don't want to have so much of it at risk.
Yep.
But also your tolerance for those ups and downs in value that can happen with investing. So we don't want people to lose sleep.
Yeah.
For example, if the markets are going up and down. But because of those ups and downs, that's why you can get really good results out of Kiwi Saver. Because it's volatile when it's on the upswing. If you're invested in that time, you can really reap the rewards.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, great. Okay. Well, we will continue to talk more about Kiwi Saver. It's such a big topic. But if you're listening in and you think, I want to check online some of the information from Sorted, go check out their website, sorted.org.nz. That's sorted.org.nz. Tom Hartmann, once again, thank you for your time today.
Thanks very much. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can catch all our interviews on Star. See you next time.